Hello, Nico. I'm Aaron Grzdanic.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Mackenzie Fossell.
Nice to meet you.
Nico, if you could right away, just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, let's see. Born and raised in northern Minnesota. Love the outdoors, hiking, camping, canoeing. Love animals. I really enjoy helping other people. I love seeing others grow and reach their potential. Especially on say a project team, seeing someone start out and then work their way up and really find their niche. That's always really rewarding. I'm very passionate about engineering. I just kind of stumbled into it looking for something to challenge myself after I started out college not really knowing what I wanted to do. But once I found it, I just knew this was for me and I wanted to do this.
Very good.
Can you tell us about a time you had to be creative to solve an unexpected problem?
All right, let's see. I had to be creative. Well, let's say there's a time when we couldn't get a camera to mount, and instead of just giving up, I was able to arrange a little thing with tape and stuff so nothing would get scratched, and it worked perfectly well. Not a big thing, but it worked.
Sure. So what attracted you to want to work for this company?
Well, I've always wanted to do something that'll really help humanity, and being on the cutting edge of aerospace technology, Boeing is an excellent place to do it. I mean, given where we're going, their role in the world is only going to get bigger, and there's only going to be more stuff for them to do. And being that they're the largest aerospace company in the world, I mean, who better to work with?
Absolutely.
What type of work environments do you thrive in?
I work in environments where there's a lot of communication and collaboration, where everyone has expectations of what they want done and how and when, so that there's no just vagueness of, oh, we want something like this done sometime. Like, if you've got a date and you've got parameters, I can get that done, and I work a lot better with other people who can do it too. I also like when there's a level of enthusiasm, when people actually care about their job. I fit really well into that kind of environment because I enjoy kind of just cheering people on and getting them to reach their potential.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you give us a time or an example that you failed?
Ooh, let's see. Time that I failed. Well, I was working on a project team where the goal was to create a hot air balloon for a presentation to educate kids about basic laws of physics. And I was pretty sure that the numbers everyone else was throwing around were just not physically possible, that the balloon would incinerate before we could get it hot enough to float. But everyone was, no, we've got enough time, this will work out. And in the end, we didn't have enough time to purchase more material. It wasn't enough to make what we needed, and I should have spoken up and made my opinion more clearly heard. And since then, I've tried to have a louder voice in the discussion when I feel like something is wrong.
What would you do if you disagreed with someone at work?
I'd try to talk it through with them respectfully and actually understand their position and why they think what they think. And I'd try to show them why I think what I think and see if we could come to some sort of understanding. I mean, it doesn't have to be a fight. It's not two sides. We're both working towards the same goal usually.
Follow-up question.
Okay.
What would you do if they didn't see your side? Or if you couldn't see theirs? If you guys just didn't agree at all?
Well, I'd probably just let it go if it wasn't something important. But if I actually thought it was important to the company, I would talk to the other people involved and the people above and try and get more of a group consensus on what they thought instead of just having a little petty fight. I try to get the wider idea on what I thought was right. Because I know sometimes I can be wrong like everyone else, and it's good to see what others think.
Absolutely. So I see that you'll be getting a BS in engineering.
Mm-hmm.
with your college experiences or work experience or even life experiences on top of this, why should we hire you? What separates you from the rest of the pack?
I'm a good team worker. I'm passionate about my work. I'm willing to put in probably more time and effort, both on the job and off the job, to become a better engineer and a better person and a better member of your company than I would wager the majority of applicants are. This is what I do for fun. I love to learn and grow and expand my abilities. And so this isn't just a job, this is a passion. I mean, it's my life.
Everyone has to bend or break the rules sometimes. Can you give us an example of when you have bent or broken?
I tend to be a pretty by the rules person if I can. This is hard because really, I stick to the rules as much as I can in virtually all situations. I can't really think of a good situation where, yeah, I made a good choice and it was against the rules, but it was positive, Never sound much of a rule breaker, to be honest.
That's good. That's excellent. Can you relate a time in which you had to use verbal communication skills in order to get an important point across?
There was one student in a very early project I was on who honestly couldn't care less, and they eventually did end up dropping out of the course, and I don't think they really fit in well, but they weren't pulling their weight on a team, and so I was one of the people who did their best to, in a non-confrontational way, try to explain what our expectations were to them, and afterwards they did do a somewhat better job, but still not up to what we wanted. And it all in all seemed to be a positive interaction. I don't think they were resentful in any way.
If you were able to have one superpower, what would it be and why?
One superpower. To analyze the molecular makeup of everything around me so I could understand just exactly what everything was made of. I've always loved the idea because one of my little hobbies is metal detecting, like going and finding old stuff. I've loved the idea of just being able to know exactly where everything was instead of having to scan with a metal detector.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all we've got for you, Nico. Do you have any questions for us at this time?
I'd ask probably what the work culture is like at the company, where you see yourself going in the near future, what sort of projects are most important to the company, and what sort of people you feel fit best at.
Very good. All right. I think, honestly, man, I've interviewed a lot of the people, and I've put no on literally every question that I just asked you, and every one of yours was exactly what we're looking for. I mean, from what I've been taught, to take that for what it's worth. But the only thing that I do see is just expanding a little bit. We started at 7, it's 7:07 right now, so 7 minutes. We've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably 12 questions.
And I think also talking a little slower would
Yeah.
help too. You talk fast, I know.
Oh yeah, that's always been one of my problems. I'll go out to eat and I'll have to repeat what I ordered twice.
Yeah.
So just taking a breath.
Yeah.
I talk too fast too when I'm
Right.
put on the spot, but that would help slow yourself down.
I'll definitely try to think about it more in the future when I'm in these situations. Thank you.
Honestly, though, the way you started every one of these and the words that you use, I couldn't really point out one that I could say is bad. I mean, excellent. Just expand a little bit, you know. That's all that it is, you know. Your stories are there. Just go a little bit more in depth.
Okay, we'll do.
You know, I mean, besides that, I mean, honestly, I think this is very, very well put together from what you said.
I have to agree. I think I put little pluses, minus, and like a division sign. For positive,
Yeah.
you got the job. Division is it didn't bother. And negative, obviously, didn't get the job. I didn't put any negatives.
Oh, really?
And I only have
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
three divisions.
Okay. You're able to like pull questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ballpark, I think, right?
Still room for improvement.
Oh yeah, and I mean honestly, the big thing is when you start getting up to like even your upper division interviews, that is something that I've been just preached at nonstop. It's just the time frame. It's almost like it's a stopwatch, and an internal stopwatch just goes off, and you know exactly how long it's going to be, and that comes with practice and time, you know. But a lot of people they're stumbling over it. They're talking like this, you know. There's no passion. It's just like, okay, let's just end this. But I mean, I was intrigued. You had very creative answers, and that's awesome. You know, I mean, just some of that stuff. What was one that I heard for that superpower one? It was. I just wish.
Being able to analyze the like molecular makeup of everything around me.
This compared to, I wish I could just solve problems better.
Walk
Come
through
on.
walls. That would have been
Yeah.
fine.
And you're right. As long as there's a cool, creative thing, that's all that question was trying to be, you know, mean. And you saw the question behind the question every time. Why should we hire you? And that's honestly what an interview is, and you demonstrated that very good. I guess one thing to possibly work on too is just eye contact.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
that's definitely something I've always had a bit of trouble with.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't horrible, but there could be 4 or 5 panel members. I had 5 at mine.
Ooh.
And you gotta look at every one of them, talk and address each one of them. Don't just talk to the one that asked the question. So just something to think about, but not a lot of bad feedback, to be honest. Just expand.
Will do. Thank
Yeah.
you both for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any questions or anything like that? Or
Let's see. Was there anything I did that you felt like kind of put me off in the wrong direction? Like you felt was like it made you wonder negative things about me? Like it was like a bad sign of in any way?
There was one thing you worded weird.
Oh, okay.
When you had talked about, using verbal communication with your teammates, you said they dropped out eventually and they just didn't fit in well. You just leave that paragraph.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't go into detail about them. It's about you, not them.
All right.
I think that was the only thing that was like, yeah.
All right.
since you got a little bit of time, I can at least look at your resume.
Okay. Oh, that'd be great.
So, I guess right away, I mean, obviously there's maybe a border. Cover letter should always match this heading as well. I don't know if anyone's told you that.
Oh yeah, that's something I've been meaning to work on.
Yeah. No big deal. You don't have a cover letter to front of it.
But like, I think my cover letter isn't quite like the same font and orientation and everything.
Yeah, that's just something that I've always noticed is nice when stuff matches like that. And I guess personally, until you have possibly 2 pages, I would stick to either bullets or paragraph form.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it just gets long. That's the only thing.
I have both in mine.
Yeah.
No, I have both bullets and paragraphs.
Okay.
So,
You know, I guess I
Nice,
can
yeah.
kind of give you an example of what I'm
That'd be
talking
great.
about. I got mine
I don't
here.
have much.
So I got 2 pages, but I got bullets for my work experience, my education, where I'm at, and then the page over is all my projects. And I don't even use my college ones; I use work ones. Just something that's more technical. I guess that's what I'm going to go to paragraph for.
Oh, nice list of certifications and achievements.
Yeah, just stuff like that for that cherry on the top right at the end. Just honestly, it's however you want to take it. There's a million ways to do it. You know what I mean? And everyone's going to tell you something different, but yeah, I guess just font.
Okay.
It's large, which can be good, but I would probably just stick with a smaller one. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I agree. And I would maybe underline like summary, just to make them stand out a little
Yes.
more.
Okay.
There you go.
Or
That's a good idea.
italicize them, something like that.
I think I probably ended up just like adjusting the font till it would like fill the page when I was done.
Agreed.
So I could probably make the font smaller and add a bit more detail.
Yeah, but I think just this is besides the point. But you did good on your interview. You know, that's the big takeaway out of that. Great way to start it. Just elaborate and focus on your eye contact.
I'll
It's slowing
keep that in
down.
mind.